All right, guys, welcome back. So if you followed the collection on Instagram, you already saw a sneak peek of this, but if not, this is going to be the basis for a new project we're working on. This is a brand new Player Plus Fender Stratocaster in a really cool color that Fender just debuted called Cosmic Jade. I pretty much impulse bought this just because of the color. It's a made in Mexico Strat, so it's nothing too fancy. I think they retail for about $1,100, but that's beside the point because we're not really here to demo this. We're just going to use this as the base for a project. So a couple times a year, I like to quote unquote build a Stratocaster. And the reason I say build in quotes is I don't cut the wood, I don't paint them, I don't do anything that involved, but I buy all the parts and I assemble them and tune them up and wire them up and everything, and usually get some pretty cool results. So I had a couple other ones that I built over the years that I kind of wanted to share with you guys before we get into that one. So let's start with this guy. This is actually one of my favorites. This is started off with a 61 Fender Custom Shop body, and it's got that nice finish checking, nice aging to it. I did all the custom shop aged hardware, nice aging on the saddles, so everything looks like it's from the 60s, but it's all brand new. Did the Yngwie Malmsteen pickups, the Seymour Duncan pickups, and then I did an Yngwie Malmsteen neck on this one, so it's got the big CBS headstock, very deep scallops, very large frets, and I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but this particular one has a really nice flame maple neck on it, which these were not supposed to be flame maple necessarily, so it's kind of cool to find one like that, but plays great, sounds awesome, and I mean, who doesn't love Lake Placid Blue, right? So next up is one that's got a lot of sentimental value to me. This was my first real guitar. I had a Squier before this, but this was my first American Strat, and my mom bought it for me when I think I was like 14. As you can see, I went through my punk rock phase and did a bunch of goofy stickers on there. Aged it. I pretty much have touched on everything on this guitar. Swapped the pickups, pots, all the hardware, took the finish off the neck, front and back, stainless steel jumbo frets. I scalloped the upper octave, brass nut, vintage style tuners, and oh, I even put a brass block on there. I forgot about that, but this is a great sounding and great playing guitar, and I've probably put more hours on this thing than any guitar in my collection. Actually, not probably. I'm 100% sure about that. All right, and last but certainly not least, this is my most recent build. This was a body that I found on Reverb, but it's built by Warmoth. Black Limba, quilted maple top, and I think this was their anniversary burst finish, which is really unique, really cool looking. And then I put a Fender American all rosewood neck, which is unfinished. It's got a real smooth feel to it, locking tuners. I think it's 6105 frets, so they're the narrow tall. Plays great. It's got EMGs. I think that's a 57 S SAX. I put two tones on it. Graphite saddles. This thing is really loud, and obviously with the EMGs, packs a punch. So great guitar. All right, so before we take this thing apart and start customizing it, I thought it'd be a good idea just to let you hear what it sounds like, bone stock, because it is actually pretty good. I'm impressed. These made in Mexico Strats have come a long way. You know, they got the rolled fretboard edges now, good size frets. They're putting American electronics in there, so it actually sounds pretty good. But I think it's good to have like a base, you know, point of reference where we started from and then where we're going. So let's check it out. sounds like stock. Now, we're going to put it on the bench, take it apart, and I'm actually going to let you guys vote on how we're going to spec this out. So if you want to head over to my Instagram, we'll be doing some polls over there. Stay tuned this week for that. But without further ado, let's head to the bench. And I apologize in advance for the mess. I know you guys probably noticed the boxes there. The Gunter collection is actually moving. I got a bigger house, which we desperately needed for all this gear. So if you guys like the videos and the content I've been putting up so far, I think it's only going to get better in the new space going forward. So like I said, we're going to be moving soon, and once we do, we'll be doing part 2 where we take this apart and spec it out the way you guys vote for. So stay tuned for part 2.